Hi, this is Mike Agugliaro. Congratulations on making it to this training. Our team put together this bonus session to give you a glance at some of the additional breakthroughs you can experience with CEO Warrior. I must warn you though, this won't be available for long, so make sure you watch it before we pull it down. Do it now.
Good afternoon. Oh shit. This is what happens after lunch all the time. Let me paint a real quick picture so I can serve you the very best possible, if that's cool. So it's only a year and a half ago, there's a few more people in here than I had in my business. I had 200 employees a year and a half ago. And I just want to set a stage that when I stood in front of my employees and said good morning or good afternoon, the only thing I expected back was a battle cry. Now I get it. You know, I was talking to Robin's team and stuff, and I'm like, hey, do I have to worry about like what I say or what comes out my mouth? First off, do we have any Italians in the room? All right, so we're good. Like, we've been trained how to curse in many languages. Is that right? So, but for the rest of you, if I get a little cranked up and some colorful words come out, there's a couple things you could do, just so we're clear. Change the word in your mind, or just pray for me tonight, and I'm good with that. Is that fair? Okay, I'll take all the prayers I can. But here's the thing. What I'm about to give you, I'm not going to give you tons of stories, if that's fair. I love hearing people's stories, but I'm not just going to give you that. We're going to get down and dirty. I'm going to have to set a baseline in a minute so you know who I am, what I've done. That's just for credibility, because otherwise, if I don't tell you a little bit about me, why would you listen to me? You're back there listening. Dave comes out and he's like, I'm going to show you, okay, this guy is an electrician and he did 32 million in 10 years. And then I come out here and you're like, oh, with the tattoos, clearly a criminal, right? You're like, gotta be a criminal. Can't possibly be. I get it. I'm not your normal person that you're probably going to see on stage here talking to you. But what I will tell you is if you're willing to just dig in deep, you got me for a couple hours, little lay to land, there's a break in between. You'll probably need it because I'm going to stretch your brain as much as I can. But what we're going to do is going to make you money. Would it be fair if we made some money? Would you be happy? All right, the rest of you that don't want to make money, please leave real quick. Go ahead. I mean, you're here because you want to improve your lifestyle, right? You want to make money. I know, let me share something. I come across somebody one time, and as I was already, 10 years ago, we were doing under $1 million. So when I heard the stories up here, if you guys want to talk, now I'm an electrician, so if you want to talk about, climbing in attics, digging ditches with a pickaxe, you want to talk about climbing in a crawl space, or working in a commercial building, like, I know all about being miserable. I do. I know the struggles. I know how hard it is. I know how to. Now, who's been in business when there was beepers? Beepers, you had a beeper on your. Yeah, right? So answer this for me. And I want this to be not just I'm talking to you. I want you to talk with me. So feel free to yell out. But how many of you in this room at like 5 o'clock, you had that beeper? Now, if you work on servers, for me, I was an electrician, that thing used to buzz, right? Like a diesel engine. You thought you got electrocuted. Can anybody relate to that? Things like, you're like, what the hell? And who's beeping you at 5 o'clock, everybody? Men, who's beeping you? I can't hear you. Who's beeping you? Your wife? Yeah. What does she want to know? When you coming the fuck home? Well, maybe not that part. But that's what it sounds like when it gets to 8 o'clock at night, right? So I've become a professional liar. I'm like, in a little bit, babe. She's like, how long is a little bit? A little while. She goes, I still don't understand. About an hour, right? And then what happens? Time just distorts and you're trying to survive. Now I've been sitting in the back of the room for a couple days and I figured a lot of you out the best I could. Be honest with me and make sure you participate. Who is an introvert in the room? Raise your hand if you're an introvert. Of course, I knew that from the back of the room. And maybe some of you don't know what an introvert is. And I'm going to share something real quick. And in a minute, you're going to be shocked. You're going to be like, I don't believe it. I am a classic introvert. I'll tell you how I know this. First off, I don't like to go to any parties. I just don't. Anybody else hate parties? You just don't want big crowds? That's why you're suffering right now, right? You're like, oh man, he's gonna talk at me. God forbid he makes me raise my hand. Someone in here will see me. That's me. You know you're an introvert if you go to a party and the first thing when you get a drink, you need a corner and you need a person, right? And you just stay there and talk to them the whole time, the corner and the person. And God forbid if they have to go to the bathroom, right? Guy's like, hey, dude, I just got to run to the bathroom. I'm like, no problem. I won't be here when you're back. I'm out, right? I'm like, I'm out of here. So I share this for a thing because here's the deal. I come out of my introverted self so I can serve you. This is not, I love to do it when I'm doing it, but I love to sit in a cave with no one there either. Now, if I could get you to challenge your introverted self and play full out, and instead of judge what each of you might be doing in the room, but get curious, I promise you, I will make a big, bold promise. If not, send me Facebook hate mail that at the end of my time with you, it will be worth not only millions of dollars, for some of you, it will change your life. I promise. You'll challenge me on this, but let's just make sure we go through everything together. Can we step out of our comfort zone? And here's the thing I was thinking about. You know, I have a 19-year-old son. He's 6'1", 275 pounds, which means I look like a little baby next to my son. Anybody else have their son has outgrown them? Yeah, you're wondering, but you tell him, he's like, well, how tall are you, Dad? I'm like, yeah, I'm about 6'5". You know, he's like, Dad, you're not. Like, my son's getting big, but here's the deal. My daughter, anybody got a 16-year-old daughter by any chance? How's this going for you? Did you ever see this coming? Now, my daughter's amazing. I love her, and she's just got her yoga certification. She's graduating this weekend. But I want you to think while you're in the room and why I go through. I'm going to give you models, examples, and stuff that made me more money than you could imagine, is that I need you to be able to just challenge this and play full out. So I want to do a little test. This will tell me if you'll play full out. I'm not going to make you dance, do the Macarena or some shit like that. I'm just going to ask you to I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and I just want you to yell boom. But before I do that, I have to ask a question. This is a carry state, right? Is this, you could carry a gun here? Yes, I got to make sure. Okay. Please don't draw a weapon on us when we do this. Is that cool? I'm all about guns. We're not going to debate about it, but I live in New Jersey. You know what you could carry in New Jersey? A butter knife. Who's from New Jersey? Anybody? Okay, so yeah, you're like, yeah, I'm from there, and I can only carry a butter knife, right? So let's try this, but Robin's in another room somewhere in the building. And I told her, I'm going to knock this out apart. I'm going to change lives forever here. So when we yell boom, I want Robin to hear it and like look up. She's probably on the second floor and be like, what the, you know Robin. She's like, what the fuck was that, you know? She's all hardcore and stuff. So let's try it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boom. Ooh, solid. But here's what I want you to do. 10 being the very best and 1 being the very worst. Where do you rank that right now? Give it to me. Where? Okay, a 7. Let's be clear on something. You're going to want to write notes, and I'll tell you when to flip in your notebook on my section. Here's the deal. If you're a 7, that's a C. That's a C. Most of you are probably from a generation, your dad gave you a backhand at a C. He wasn't happy with a C. And if you went to vocational school, anybody go to a vocational school? Well, they were just happy you didn't die, right? I mean, that's the deal at a vocational school. But here's the thing. I have a phrase that I heard. I want you to write this down anywhere. I don't care if you write it on your arm. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. Think about this a minute. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. Now, I'm going to give you one more above that. And I'm going to ask you a favor. Don't ask me to slow down. You speed the hell up. Is that cool? Because if I slow down, as you can see already, I'll self-combust, okay? The second thing is the way you do anything is the way your team does everything. People stand up here, I'm sure, year after year for you. Culture, culture, culture. I sit in the back of the room, I look at you and I say, man, their culture must be like half dead. Like, because energy follows thought, and you need energy today. And when I go back to my children, how were you with your children? I always said, whatever I said to my children, I should say to myself, son, you could become anything. Son, run around, have a lot of energy. Son, let me hear your big boy voice. And then you get an adult, they're 30, 40, or 50, and you say to yourself, what happened to everybody? They became fucking boring, right? I mean, think about it. They became boring. And what I want you to do is, we're going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to get my slides on. I need you to yell boom so loud that it shatters your inside. Write this down. First off, you can't build a $5 million business with a $500,000 mind. Let that sit in a minute. You can't build a $5 million business doing $15 an hour tasks. Is that true? You can't. So the way you play out now is the way I'm going to deliver for you. I could stand behind this thing the whole time. We could get all neutered in here and stuff. Or we could rock this thing out, get stuff that you're going to bring back right away, implement, and I promise you, it's going to make you money and change the game. Now, look, someone said to me, they said, you know, Mike, money's not everything. And I say, very well stated from a perfectly broke-ass human. Because to other people, money changes the world. You know, money's not everything, but it's a lot to St. Jude. It's a lot to Wounded Warriors. Do I have vets in the room? Do I have any vets in the room? Let's hear it for them, everybody. Thank you. You know, it helps them out. It helps everybody out. So I'm going to challenge you with a bunch of stuff I'm going to say. Some of you, I will tell you at the end, you're going to stand up. You're going to be like, I love that guy. I love him, right? Some of you are going to already, you're like, hate him. Can't stand him. He's loud. He's got tattoos. Who else has tattoos anyway? Okay, it's okay to raise your hand. Who wants a tattoo? Okay, all right. You still have time. You still have time. I am a tattoo artist for 25 years. But here's the deal. I want you to challenge yourself. Let's do it right now. I want Dave D right now to be like, holy crap. That room is out of control. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boom! Nice. I don't know if we're at 10, but we're getting close there, and that's rock solid for me. Let me get up on the screen, team, in the back there. We'll get on this agenda, and I'm going to move really, really fast for you guys. You heard a little bit about me here. Quick disclaimer for you guys. Of course, anything I teach, say, do for you. Make sure you do your own due diligence. Strategies are pretty much going to work universally since I work with people all over the United States, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and everywhere else. But of course, make sure if I share something, you do the work and make sure. My big warrior promise is this. I want to make sure that easily we make, let's just make, you know, if we could go for 240K from what we're going to learn, that would be really awesome. Let's just make sure my information makes you $250,000. Anything after that will be a plus. Will that be fair? Yes? Okay, will that be fair? Yes? Awesome. Thank you for playing full out. I promise, because what we're going to do in the second half is I'm going to help you. See, so many of you guys, I've talked to you because I'm not from the IT space. My partner will tell you, I'm the enemy of the IT space. I mess up stuff all the time. Like, this is really tricky for me. I never did this before. But I want to tell you something. I know that in the IT space, there's circuitry that's got to be connected. And when we come back from break, I'm going to help you connect yourself into a level of speed, a level of connectivity of success like you've never felt before. Now, look, my story, I'm sure it's just like a lot of people that said on the stage, I don't have to spend a lot of time here because my job's to give you information. But who else has been on their own since they're very young, 15 years old or something? Okay, some of you. It's a painful road. That's my road. I went to a vocational school. I always say, like, I'm a survivor of a bad divorce. I'm extremely proud. I'll share something, probably my most proud thing out of everything. It's not building a company to 32 million. I got to tell you, once I figured that out and I share stuff, it's really, really easy. For you guys to double, triple, and I don't want to underplay success. What I'm really proud of is I'm with my wife for 33 years, my goddess, since the age of 15 years old. Yeah. That's what I'm proud of. I'm proud that I've been able, because you guys know, all of you and gals, growing a business, you know, it's tricky stuff. You heard a lot of that there. So one, I know what it's like to have what we call boots on the ground. I know what it's like to do the work, okay? There's an old school picture. That's when my son was really, really little. You heard about a lot of people's why, and I'm such a believer in that. You know, I remember when my son was born going home and, you know, my wife was going to do the whole breastfeeding thing, which she did very successful at it. And I'm putting it, you know those glider rockers? You ever have one of them? Who's ever had one of them? Yeah, they're nice, right, ladies? You need that thing. You can't be on no metal-ass chair breastfeeding and stuff. You get back problems. So I'm building that thing, and I share this so you can relate to me. And then all of a sudden I build it. My wife's in the hospital. My son was just born. And I don't know. Let's just be transparent with each other. I'm going to be honest with you. I start to break down crying sitting in the chair. Who's ever had that moment when the child was born? And why did I cry? I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to be just like my dad. I'm going to work. Now, I love my dad. He's still alive, hardest working man in the world. But I'm going to be like him. I'm never gonna be home. I'm already working 7 days a week, and now I got this little boy that I have to take care of, that he's gonna look up to me. And how's he gonna look up to me if I'm never home? And I'm bawling, and it's in that time where I make a critical decision on how I'm gonna be different moving forward, how I'm gonna act, how I'm gonna behave. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and worry about, this is gonna be real good. I gotta tell you guys this real quick, because I thought of it last night. And I hope the Barnum and Bailey talk that Robin did, was there massive value or what? Let me hear it. How much value? Holy shit. I don't know about you, I was back there writing notes like mad. I was like, she's brilliant what she's saying. But there was something that someone talked about, and I wanna kind of, not that you need my permission, but I wanna give you permission to step out of yourself. I built CEO Warrior. It's 5 years young now, 5 years. I was building it while I was growing the $32 million business, and then a $40 billion company came in. Me and my partner gave them a number. Did you ever give anybody a job? I know you must have did this. You wrote a ticket, you're like, it's gonna be this much, and they said yes so fast, you wonder what the hell you screwed up. Did that ever happen? Raise your hand. You're like, shit, you should have told me that. I would have put like $2 more grand a month on that sucker, right? So we did that, and they swooped in and brought us up. But someone said, I don't remember who was talking about it, about being your very self. 5 years ago when I started, I didn't call it CEO Warrior, and I think this is so worth sharing with you guys. I called it Service Key. And I went out there. Can you imagine me in slacks, shiny black shoes, and a button-down shirt? You can't, right? You're like, no. And I go home, and every day I'm sweating, and I hate myself. And I tell my wife, I hate this. Now, who's a wife in the room? Raise your hand. Let's hear it for them. Yeah. They simplify shit so easy. So easy. My wife says, well, just stop doing that. Brilliant. So I said, really? Like what? She's like, just throw them fucking shirts out. I was like, hell yeah, right? And next thing you know, I'm free. And it taught me a big lesson, because before I did business, I mean, when I started this business, you know, we did $1 million in 10 months of coaching. I mean, real fast. But when I was myself, we did 10 times more of that. Do you get the point that I'm making here? I want you to hear it, because some of you are trying to fit what you heard a lot of people, this old model. This model of how you think it should be. So there's some of my turning points and some thoughts. Now here's my company. For anybody in New Jersey, you know it. That's my 15,000 square foot building. I own that. People that bought our business are still paying for rent and that. That's really sweet and awesome. That's half my fleet. Just so you know, and I know a lot of you, who has employees out there? Employees? Okay, so you got people that go and fix stuff, right? I had 165 trucks on the road. All right, so I get how to dispatch, fix, grow, build a brand better than anybody, and double-digit profits, which I love seeing everybody's profit, because I always said, look, revenue's the body, you know, profit's the health of the heart. Isn't that true? Say yes? Yeah, I mean, that's the health of the heart. Some of you are not paying attention to that enough. So, of course, as Robin is to you guys, the expert, I love Robin, she's brilliant, smart. I am to the service industry, the plumbing, HVAC, electricians. These are a whole bunch of my people like this room. Now, if we dig in, look, I'll just give you the best credibility. Kevin O'Leary, when I was with, he said I was the real deal. Do you need anything else besides that? You don't need nothing else, right? We're done. Move the fuck on from that slide, right? Let's get to work now. You know, but if I didn't set a little bit of stage, you would say, what does this guy know about anything? I'm a vote tech kid. Now, I spent a lot of money in coaching, but I got no college degree. You know what I have? A work my ass off degree and outwork every other human. That's the degree I have, just like a lot of you. I'm sitting back there, and sometimes I'm like all bottled up like the Hulk. I'm like, oh, these people could do so much more. Step up, get hungry. Like, let's break down. Now, in my world, you got to imagine CEO Warrior. So Jeff, of course, and Robin, they're like, try not to have them break anything in the room, right? Because in my world, like, our people pick up tables if you follow me on Facebook, they got tables in the air, chairs flying around. My partner yells at me because every event we break shit. You know, it's like the old, who went to like AC/DC or Judas Priest years ago? Anybody? Yeah, it's so awesome. Let me ask you a question. I just said AC/DC. You all woke the hell up. Where the hell you been? Did you forget how to rock it out? Now, I don't go home and put my earring in my ear and start fucking doing this again. But you know what? That's what I want to hear, right? We got to rock it out. Now, let's get in. Now, I want you to open up your workbook. And in there, you'll see a section with my name and a section that says 9-pillar formula. We're gonna put the pen to the paper now, and I'm gonna solve some major things for all of you. For all of you. I'm gonna connect the damn dots like you've never had connected before. I promise you that. All right. Is everybody there? Yes? All right, when you're there, give me a big old boom. You there? Boom? Whew, man, so Robin's going to be very proud of you, okay? That's important for me. It's very important. All right, here we go. Now, this is the deal. All of you, this is where you are today. Today. Fill this out with me. Fill this out with me. My handwriting's not going to be great, so I'll have to say it for you. And the deal about where you're at today is you have a choice for success. First off, you'll hear a lot of people talk about coaching. Anybody that does not have minimum one coach or running with, I always call it with a pack of wolves, you're running lonely. You're running lonely. I have 7 coaches right now. 7. Why? Well, you want to be the best in the world. You better hang around the best in the world. Now, that's where you're at today. Now, where you guys want to all go is to this, your future. You all have a future. It may not be defined. You may not have clarity around it. Some of you are afraid to even say what you want from your future. You say, oh, I want to do, I love when people say this. I say, tell me what your target is 2019. 1.5, 1.6 million. I said, listen to me. Is it 1.5 or 1.6? Because you have to be clear, don't you? How do you hit a target being unclear? I mean, I always say, first off, if you're using the word goal, crush that. Get rid of that shit, goal. How many of you, be honest with me, have had a goal to lose weight and you didn't lose all the weight? Raise your hand. Yeah. A goal is a word that's set up for sabotage. Now, my military guys in the room, now I was not in the military, but I am a martial artist at 34 years. Any other martial artists in the room? That's just how I see how safe I am. Thank you. You know, and I've trained with a lot of military and SEAL Team 6 guys and stuff like that. When the military sets their eyes on a target, what happens, everybody? What happens? Boom, it's gone. See, goals are like, oh, I have a goal. Let's hope we hit the target. No, you should write this stuff down. Forget goals. It's targets we're going for. We're going for targets. Now, here's how most of you have been building your business. Down in the red block, you've been building it by default. By default, you're doing the best you can, and you're ending up somewhere. And sometimes my wife says, you don't have an idea where you're going when you drive. I said, no, I don't, but I always end up somewhere. She goes, yeah, and you're kind of late when that shit happens too. She goes, let's get you to the target, right? Let's get you to the place we're going. What about this? Up in the green, how about you, during the rest of your time here, you build a plan for design? See, I'm going to go through pieces to give you a plan by design, not by default. Look, if you build your culture by default, you just let it create, what kind of culture is that going to be? Sucks, right? Perfect word. Thank you for saying what everyone else was thinking, right? It's going to be horrible. But when you build a culture by design, exactly what it's going to look like, exactly what it's going to feel. You would love my culture. It's kind of like if we took, did you ever see Zappos or anything? It'd be like Zappos culture, but we armed everybody with knives and axes, right? That's what it's like, my culture. Because I'm a high endurance combat kind of martial arts guy. Now here's the deal. There's a couple pieces here. Now, when you go by default, look, you have this, down on the bottom, poor habits. Poor habits will create a business by default, okay? Indecision. Confused, do I do it? Do I not do it? I'm like, crap, just make a damn decision. Look, about 12 years ago, I made a decision. And I'm not selling you nothing here, guys. I'm just here to serve you. But 12 years ago, I made a decision. Stop being weak, stop playing safe, and step up. And it served me very, very well by doing that. Now, the other part of that is inaction. You've heard plenty of people here talk about inaction. I'm going to give you a formula pretty soon how to solve the inaction. how to get you to move like you never moved before. It's going to make so much sense to you in a couple minutes. Now, how do we build a company by design? Real simple. Clear thinking. Clear thinking. You want to make sure that you could have your brain dialed in where you want to go. Positive discipline. Positive discipline. I believe everybody should do martial arts because there's one thing martial arts will teach you if you train with the right person. It's going to teach you discipline. It's going to teach you focus. It's going to teach you mind, body, spirit. It connects all the dots for you guys, right? And the last part of that is it's going to help you get right action. Right action. Super key. This is what we call the future curve. If this makes sense, say boom. Does it make sense? 100%. Because the minute you start going by design, we change the game. Look, this is not the good part of what I'm talking about. Let's get serious. Can we get serious now? All right, let me show you what serious looks like. In the top part there, write the word create. Because I'm going to do this whole thing, and it's a big thing that we got to do before you're done with me. Just write create there. Now, this is going to spell out, when we're done, CEO. First, we got to create. We got to create who you are into a machine, okay? The second thing we have to do is I got to elevate you. I have to elevate. That's the E in CEO. I have to elevate you, okay? I have to help you with what you know. And the third part is operate. This is going to be the coolest model you guys ever seen, and that's the O, and that's going to be what you do. What you do. So I'm going to help who you are, okay? I'm going to help what you know, and I am going to sit here and help you with what you do. Now, here's the other thing this model does. You see this little gray part? Let's shift up, let's change up some colors here. Right here in this part, right here. I want you to write calibration. Calibration. I must help you calibrate your business with what I'm teaching you right now. You see, if I take a rocket ship and I stick a rocket ship on top of a Kia, I'm pretty sure what's going to happen. It's going to self-destruct, right? So I got to help you calibrate. Now pay attention, because this model is exactly what you got to do in your business to change the game. Remember, you're going to hold me to, this will be the greatest session you've ever attended. I promise you this. The next thing is this, in the bottom part, acceleration. Once we calibrate, we must accelerate. We must accelerate, okay? Now, I heard what you heard up here on these 5 amazing people, they calibrated, then started to celebrate. Some of you are trying to accelerate without calibrate. There's a system to do it. And then the last part is once you do that, you could have domination. Now, I'm a domination guy. I didn't start growing. Once I made a decision to grow a business, I wanted to be the king. I didn't want to be a knight no more. I wanted to build a business that anybody in New Jersey that came across it, they were like, there's their truck. There's their fleet. I mean, 165. We were an amazing army. Now, the part that I'm going to teach you about, and we're going to start at the top, and I'm going to go pretty quick on this, is look, mindset. Yeah, but I'm going to tell it to you in a minute in a whole nother way. You guys are going to be blown away. Next part, skill set. We cannot learn new skills anywhere in the world without changing our mindset. Check it out. Once we do learn it, we got to take action. Action set. You must take massive action. Now, a lot of you guys are trying to grow a company, and check this out. Let's change a color for you guys. You have no clarity. You got to have clarity. 100%. Some of you you're not clear where you want to go, and then tell me if this is important. Look at that. I changed that color, and I didn't even want to. That was even impressed me. Alignment. You got to have alignment. Did you guys ever, in your family, husband and wife, did you ever not have alignment? Anybody, or just me? Okay, just like me and you. That's it. Everybody else has been aligned with their wife, right? My wife's like, what are we doing now? I'm like, I thought I told you. She's like, you didn't say shit to me. Okay? Next thing, without that, hang on. Without that, we got to have accountability. I'll get it right for you guys. Accountability here in the bottom. Accountability. Some of you don't have accountability. If you did, you'd be more successful quicker than you are now. Then there's last three pieces to this model. And I know you're doing your best to keep up. When I write it, I'll stay there a second, take a picture of the thing, okay? The next part is this, training. Training. Training is super important because a lot of you, see, in your world, you have training. You guys got to have training. How the hell would you figure out like all this Office 360 email stuff? I make my email locks up all the time, right? Training, you guys don't have a problem with. It's this that you need. You need coaching. You need coaching, right? All of us do. And the last part, you need managing. Now, you see, I was never in this world. I find this super incredible. I heard Robin talk, because I've hung around her, about this ransom stuff. I always thought, like, wow, that's really crazy, would never happen to me. So I'm going to make light of this, and I probably shouldn't. It's a while ago. Someone sent me an email. Did you guys ever deal with this, or people do? And he's like, hey, I've been watching your computer, and okay, so he says this, and he goes, I would like to say your selection of porn is very good taste. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he says, now, if you send me 1,000 Bitcoin, I'll get rid of. Otherwise, I'm going to send it to everybody you know. And so I just said, well, if you're going to send them that, you might as well send them this porn site. It's better than that one. Like, and then go fuck yourself. Like, I'm a fucking warrior. What am I worried about, right? Like, pretty sure my wife's not going to be shocked by any fucking thing I do now, right? So, but I thought it would never happen to me. And yeah, so pretty weird. All right, flip the page. But I do respect what you guys do because people get robbed. I mean, this is the mafia's online today, right? I mean, that's the deal. All right, let's talk about mindset. Now, before you guys heard a lot of mindset here, and from a lot of people that are really smart. But I just want to let you know I'm going to be the smartest one of all. Is that okay? Is it okay? All right, thank you for your permission. I didn't need it. I was going to tell you anyway. But here's the deal. It has nothing to do with mindset. Nothing. Mindset's bullshit. Watch this. In that first block right there, write this. And your brain, you're probably going to do one of these like, holy shit. Right? So I'll watch. It's all about this. Mind, growth. All right, put your fucking hands back. Put your hands back. It has nothing to do with mindset. Let me ask you a question. When you set something, that means it doesn't, what, does it move or stay stuck? When you pour concrete, do you want it to set? Yes, that's solid. See, most of you've been kind of plagued with mindset. That's why you're stuck. Your mind is set. Now, that will play a part. When you're here at this event, are you here to set your mind or grow your mind? What is it? Grow. Let me hear it. What is it? Grow your mind. So next time somebody says mindset, just go like this. Nah, you're fucking wrong. Okay? You got it? You're wrong. It's mind growth. But I want to be clear with something. Mindset does play a part because once we grow, then you want to mind set. It's just like the stocks. You want to break through a ceiling and create a new what? Anybody know? A new floor. You don't want to break through the ceiling and go to the bottom. That's like stock you lost a lot of money on, right? You want to break through the ceiling, create a new floor. I want to grow my mind, set it, new floor. Now you're here at this event again because you want to grow your mind and I want you to set it. Otherwise you go back and Monday, you're the same. Be upfront with me. I've been to a lot of events. You ever go to them, they're amazing, go back, the Monday storm hits and you go back to the same? Raise your hand. Oh, just a few of us, right? The rest of you, I'm wondering there's a different problem why you're not tripling in size, right? I mean, it happens all the time. But here's the deal. When you grow your mind, what happens is you have an awakening. You have an awakening. Now, I just gave you a great example of an awakening. You just heard something you never heard before. Mind growth. Oh, man, okay, that's right, let me grow. And then I have to set my mind. Once we do that, then we have this evolution cycle. Evolution. So I grow my mind. Oh man, that's brilliant. I wake up everything in my brain, anchor it. I'm going to help you do that before we leave today. And then I have a new evolution. Let's do it again. And once I get this really good, up in the top, what I want to do is I want my favorite word, and it's probably being a martial artist and stuff. My favorite word is mastery. If you could consider embracing mastery. Mastery is you're never done. I've trained with my instructor for 19 years. My test was 200 attacks. They stuck shotguns in my face, swung live blades at me, sticks, bat, golf clubs, black and blue, 110 degrees. I survive. I almost get choked out by someone. My wife's there. I kneel down. My instructor gives me my black belt. After 5 years of torture, and you know what he says to me? Congratulations. Now we could really start training. Holy shit, right? I'm like, now I almost died, right? But the thing is here that we want to make sure that we do is we strive for mastery. Now, let me share something that you may not be aware of. This over here, we're going to talk about this before we go at the end. This is your brain. And this here is your conscious brain. Your conscious brain is you listening to me. You evaluating, you judging, you guessing. Some of you are like, this is great. Some of you think your ego's so big you know it all, but you're still not where you want to be. That's fine. I care about everybody. That only controls everybody 5%. 5% of your results. 95% of your success is your subconscious mind. Now, most of you, your subconscious mind has been hijacked. I get it. Your childhood, you've been beaten, yelled at, hit with a switch, a belt. My dad used to snap that belt, used to scare the shit out of me. He used to fold it over. Anybody else? And he used to go like this. He'd just look and go, snap, and I'd be like, oh, my ass cheeks would pucker up. I'd fucking go hide somewhere. Big Italian dad with the belt. I'm like, shit, he never had to hit me with it. The thing snapping scared me, right? What we want to do is I'm giving you this model, but I want to, before we leave, I'm going to help you, give you the opportunity to reprogram the subconscious, because 5%, some of you that are successful on the 5% conscious mind, holy crap, when we dial in the 95, you're going to go to the next level. Is this making sense? Yes? Okay, so who yelled boom? All right, I'm glad you're good. You've been trained. Everyone else said yes. We're only going to use boom. Are we good? Okay, we're getting dialed in. Awesome. So this is the mindset, first of the 9 pillars. Boom, let's go to the next one. The next one is skill set. Any of your employees that are struggling, if you don't help them dial in their mind, you can't give them a skill. Who's invested employees and you're pretty sure after you spend a bunch of money they were stupider? Raise your hand. Is this the most frustrating shit you've ever seen in your life? I'm like, I just sent you to the damn training for $5,000. I'm pretty sure you came back dumber. How does this happen? How do I lose money by sending your ass to get smarter? I get it. You didn't dial in their mindset. But now I got to tell you how to get them dialed in on their skill set. Are you ready for it? Okay, I got this. I'm only going to talk to this half of the fucking room right now. Okay, are you ready for it? Thank you. And here's the deal. Everybody that has an accountability table, if you see someone that's not yelling boom, just poke them in the testicle. If it's a lady, leave her alone. Leave her alone. No touching. Is that fair? So, like accountability groups, like, dude, I'm going to jump up and boom your ass. Like, just say it. Remember, let's challenge ourselves to the next level. I promise it's going to serve you. All right, skill set. I want to tell you, I'm not sure what she laughed at, if it was the woman thing or the testicle thing, but I guess it was funny. Okay, I want to tell you how to train your people now so that they're the best. Train fast, train easy, get them new skill sets. Yes? Boom, thank you. You guys are so dialed in. I love it. Okay, first, you have to tell your people what to do. That's the easy part. I'm sure you guys come in the morning on Monday, you're like, you know. You ever have that? You're throwing your fingers everywhere. Do this, do that. You know, people, they're like, he's possessed this morning. Right, that was me. I was a possessed owner. First, I have to tell people what to do. You might be good at this, some of you. The second part is you have to show them how to do it. How many of you tell people what to do, but you never show them? And today, you want to write this part down. How many of you today, you have to, every time there's a new employee or somebody, you repeat and show them the stuff again? Raise your hand. Yeah, stop that. That's called a video recorder. You get that? Record this shit once and play it, and then tell them to do it. That's going to save you guys a ton of time. I did 1,000, I believe who was in Nick Natton's class? Nick Natton's this morning? Nick? No, he talked about credibility. A lot of you guys weren't there. Oh, it was brilliant. I did 1,000 YouTube videos in less than 3 years. Everything that dude said is wicked smart, I promise you. After you tell them how to do it, and you show them how to do it, the next thing you have to do is this. You have to teach them. Because showing them's not teaching them. Showing them's not teaching them. Teaching them is teaching them. Connecting the dots. I'm telling you how to do things, I'm showing you how to do things, and I'm teaching you things right now. Now, the next part is this. You must observe them doing it. Some of you probably leave people to their own demise. You tell them, you might even show them, you might even teach them, but then you're like, go. I got no time. Like, people are calling, servers, shit's breaking down, computers, people are yelling, right? You're like, just go figure it out. And that's a dangerous thing, right? So you observe them doing, but here's the biggest part of all. I'll tell you, I solved the missing piece to get people to own new things. Have them teach it back to you. Have them teach it back to you. This is the cycle that this goes on right here. I tell them, I show them, I teach them, I observe. Guess what? They teach me, and that spins just like that. Do you see that? When you teach things, you what? Improve? Is that true? Okay, 5 people are in the boom. Man, I will get you guys dialed in, I promise you. When people teach, do they improve? Yeah, 100%. You're not letting them teach because you think you're the kingpin. I want my employees, I want to tell them, show them, teach them, then observe them, then they teach it back. That's what makes it real powerful. In the middle is evaluation. We want to constantly evaluate. Constantly evaluate. Then by choice up here, by choice, they will choose mastery. Now people say, Mike, how did you build 32 million in double-digit profit? You know, I love the gurus, but I want to make this point again. I didn't do this stuff 20 years ago. It's a year and a half ago. I had 200 employees. I'm giving you the system I did to double down on a business and make a $40 billion company come in and say yes. And who sold a business? Somebody who sold a business before? Raise your, okay. See, I signed my name and the next day I was free. I walked away. I built that structure, and for the 5 years before, and I'm not one of these guys that's throwing bullshit up here. For 5 years, the thing ran by itself. That means it was a money machine. People want to buy money machines, right? Otherwise, they want to buy starving, struggling businesses. So mastery, going through this model here, creates constant improvement. Do you get the model? Yes? Is it going to fix things for you? Okay, good. Can you handle another model? Can you apply this in your business? Is it difficult? I confused the shit out of you now, didn't you? I know, I kind of set you up for the kill. All right, I know it's not difficult. It's not difficult. Let's keep moving along because I have 9 of these to go through. We won't do all 9 before break, but we got to get through a bunch. Now, I know I'm stretching your brain, so you keep taking pictures. I'm sure they're recording this, and I don't know how she gives it to you or not. You'll be able to replay this and bring this back to your managers and watch it and go through it. Your job's not to do all 9 at one time. Your job is to bring one. If you can fix the mindset to mind growth your company, then you easily can give them the skill set. Then we could go to the next part. And I heard a lot of this here too. I just want to connect the dots. A lot of you, who in here, if I could teach you how to take massive action, easier, quicker, and solve the problem from complacency or dips, who would want that? Okay, a lot of you. Okay, so I'm going to give it to you guys. Here's the deal about action set. The first part, in number 1, you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. The decision is this. Why? Why do I need to do this? Now, I want you to write this down. I'll actually write it on here. There's 3 reasons why you do everything. Now, you guys know what this stands for, ROI. Yell it out. What is it? Return on? Okay, that's good. That's good. Return on investment. It's kind of baby food in my world. Everybody knows it. I want to give you the other 2. The next one is ROT, return on time. See, because if I told you, like, you could be a millionaire, but it's going to take 65 years, you want it? I mean, that's way too long, right? So I want return on investment, return on time. And the biggest one for me, everybody, of my why and decisions is ROL. It's return on life. I built a company. I did restoration. Restoration is where houses get flooded and you go in and you dry it out and stuff. It's a really good model, great model. But you got to deal. Any of you deal with insurance companies in here? Do you hate them? I do. You don't have to. I hate that whole like trying to fight to get paid shit. It's so daunting, right? And so I was like, we were doing $1 million, and I said, forget it, I'm done. I don't even want to do it no more. I walked in one day, say, stop it, because I felt like it was pulling away from my life. Does that make sense? Causing stress, anxiety, pressure, frustration. They're telling me the insurance didn't pay that much. They only paid 50%. And I'm like, forget it, kill it. So return on life's important. The first part, you got to know why. The second part is when. Some of you, I don't know, you're waiting for an invitation to grow to the next level. I don't know who, let me give you permission. You all have permission to grow to the next level. Feel better now? Okay, good. I'm glad. Now you'll fucking go do it. Like, when are you going to do it? You know, mentors of mine would say, when's now the right time? Right? When's now the right time? But that's not enough. Here's where I believe a lot of you are failing. Leverage. I believe you don't have leverage, and I'm going to make an example in a minute. And leverage has two pieces. It has consequence, and it has momentum. I use this example a lot. I'm going to give you the example from my director, Mike Disney. Mike Disney works for me. He was my director. He ran $20 million for me at my one company. He's the director at CEO Warrior. I said to him, here's the project. I said, you know when it's done? He says, yep. You know, right? I ask everybody these three things. You know how to do it? Write this down. You know how to do it? He says yes. Do you know when you're going to do it? He says yes. And is there anything in your way? He says no. I said, what's your leverage? He said, I'll tell you what, if I don't get this on time, I will send a video to my ex-wife and tell her how much I appreciate her. Guess what? Miserable day for him. He didn't finish that one. He had to send a video to his ex-wife. I said, no, that's awesome. That was a great video. What'd your ex-wife say? She asked me if I was dying. I said, how'd you feel? Like you were dying. You see, if you put enough leverage, though, most of the time people won't fail. Let me ask you a question. For most of you in the room, and I'm sure there's some of you, if I told you you need to get $10 million cash legally in 24 hours, 10 million in 24 hours, who could do that? Okay, 2. Okay, perfect. Could you get 100 million in 24 hours legally? Okay, nobody. Okay, let me ask you a question. I took all your children on here and I pointed a bazooka at them. I said in 24 hours, if you don't have 100 million, they're going to die. Who can get 100 million? Raise your hand if you can. Yeah, you're out there, you're telling every vendor, you're working your ass off. Why? Leverage. See, I'm successful because I never wanted to have one conversation with my children. I never wanted to have the conversation their father's a failure. I never wanted to do that. That was enough leverage for me ever. I never wanted, look, I failed for 10, 11 years. Now, I know people want to say all this bullshit, you failed forward, and no, it was 10 years of torture for me. I suffered for 10 years in a truck, struggling, fighting. And I don't know about you guys, I'll talk to guys right now. I'm pretty sure my wife didn't sign up for that shit. Anybody else can relate to this or what? I'm pretty sure she didn't sign up for the struggle. She loves the success now, but I had to break out of myself to do this. You see, you need leverage. Accountability groups are good, but only as good as the leverage you put on each other. Like if I told you guys, all of you can make a sale while you're here. Who's called a client since they've been here and made a sale? Raise your hand. Okay, this is less than 10%. Why didn't all of you? Not enough leverage. See, I think Robin should come out here and say to all of you, anybody afraid of clowns? No, nobody? Oh, that's interesting. Oh, a couple. Like, we won't use the clown thing. That failed on me right there. That's fucking bullshit. Okay, let's rewind a minute. She says, any of you that don't make a big sale, monthly recurring of a couple thousand or more, get your ass up here naked and dance. Now, how fast would you, some of you got excited, and that's creepy as shit. That was really creepy what you just did. But for most of you, you wouldn't do it. You'd be like, yeah, Mike, I'm listening. Hey, yeah, Bob, Mr. Architect Dentist, who's fucking doing your IT? Got to do it now. I will fix your shit, right? Or all your clients will never come back and their teeth will rot. Okay, thank you, credit card, right? Yeah, because you have leverage. You gotta have that, everybody. The next thing is when this is all done, guess what you'll have? You'll get confidence. The more leverage, the more wins, you will get confidence, and confidence gives you wins and rewards. You guys probably know how the brain works. I don't know if you know, but the brain is trained to run away from pain and go to pleasure. Scientifically proven. The more pain I could say I'm going to put on you, and then if I put pleasure, so consequence, I'll sever your leg off on Facebook Live. I know I use some crude examples. If you fail, we just chop it the hell off. But reward, you get to go on date night with your wife. Without the kids, someone's going to watch them. It's going to be super fun. You're going to get all sexy and alive again, right? Some of you forgot how to do that, I could tell. You know, you got old and you got boring as shit, right? You know, I was telling my wife, like, and I'm sharing private stuff, so hopefully you're not going to air it all over the world, but I was telling my wife, like, you know, I slap her ass every now and then, and she's go, like, don't do that. And I said, look, like, I got to slap your ass. What if someone else wants to slap it someday, right? Might as well be me. Some of you have gotten boring, and I need to challenge that shit for you guys so you could go next level, because here's the deal. In the action model, if you love the reward and fear that, who owns anybody own a 50 cal in here? Because I've been wanting one of those. Anybody? 50 cal? No? Okay, one in the back. Okay, so he owns a 50 cal. That's a badass gun, right? That's a real good gun. Very expensive. If I told him, like, tell me your target next week, and if you don't get it, mail it to me, are you going to send me your 50 cal, yes or no? Okay, you see that? I made all you IT people how to curse now. He's like, fuck no. Right? Yeah. He's back there flipping me the bird and shit, right? So, and in the middle is mastery. Once you guys master actions, the game changes. You become the mastery of actions. Does this make sense? Okay, let's try it one more time. Remember, Robin's got to hear this. Does this make sense? Okay, nice job. That's how we take action. Let's go to the next one. Boom, clarity. Some of you are not clear. I want to help you become more clear than you've ever become in your entire life. You ready for it? Nice job, everybody. I love you playing full out. Number one part about being clear is this. We got to know what we want. What we want. You guys know that. We have to answer the next part right here. Why we want it. The next thing we got to know, when. You're going to love this one. Right now. That's right. Right. Add the word F in there. Now. That's how I live. The next thing you got to know is where. Where do we want this? I mean, where are we going to make this happen? Is it going to be in my business? I don't care. You know, who in here is started out as a technician, or what do you guys call yourselves? Technicians? Okay. All right. And then everybody tells you to become what? A business what? A business owner. See, they forgot to tell you the next step. You want the next step? It's called a wealth advisor. Now, let me summarize. The minute I started treating my business as a wealth vehicle, my house as a wealth vehicle, my building as a wealth vehicle, everything, my mind changed completely. And I always said, as a wealth advisor, if you walk in your business and you were a wealth advisor, what would you tell everybody? Think about that a minute, because that's the next level above it. So where are you going to make it happen? The next thing is how. Most people, you tell them, I want you to make $1 million in a month. Bah! How am I going to do that? And I'm like, don't worry about the how. Let's just worry about what we want to do. We can reverse engineer anything. Is that true? Yeah, you can reverse engineer anything that you want to. Okay, so we have the how, and then the last part is who. I love the who part because the who, I'm a master at delegation. Now, who, and you might have heard this before, but who is a good person at multitasking? Raise your hand if you're a multitasker. Okay, some of you. You've probably been taught that that's impossible, right? You can't multitask. It's multi-switching, which means the minute you stop multitasking and start saying who can do this, the sooner you'll move faster, okay? The sooner you move faster. Now, let me solve the middle piece. The first part in the middle is this. You got to think about this process. The second part, laser focus, samurai-style focus. And the last part here, you have to commit. You have to commit. Go back to the action model. Leverage creates commitment. And then the last part at the top up here, mastery. Mastery. That's the name of the game, mastery. Now take a picture of this model, because if you didn't fill it out, because I want you to make sure you got the whole models here, because with these models, if you run anything through that you're going to do, build, decision through this model, will it be easier to make a decision? Some of you, Will it be easier to make a decision? No. Yes, it will. Because I just answer it. Follow the grid. I mean, when Robin asked me, will you come out here and teach? I said, oh, no, I'm not going to come out here and teach. I'm going to share the shit that makes the difference. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share the stuff. If you get your employees dialed in on their mindset, their skill set, action, and clarity, what will change in your company? Everything? What do you think? Everything. Right. That's what we want to do. This is what creates 32 million. All right. Boom. Let's go to alignment. This has been a big one, everybody, for me and my wife. I've always had to get alignment. Now, I'm going to draw lines up for this. First part of alignment, we get what we call a painted vision. Now, you guys might have heard this concept before. You have to paint the actual outcome as vivid as possible. But some of you only do that for your company. So here's the deal. You sign a company that you're going to work with. I don't know, dentist, whatever you guys do. You sign them into a monthly recurring revenue model, $5,000 a month. You should have a painted vision for how that whole experience looks, how that whole relationship looks. It's the outcome. What does this relation look like 5 years from now in color? Same thing for your company. How does the management look? Same thing for a project and redoing. Painted vision is making sure you can see as clear as possible the outcome. Energy follows what? I said it before, thought. Energy follows thought. When my mind, and I know you guys watched all the movies, The Secret and stuff, all this stuff. Who's watched the movie The Secret? Okay, some of you. You know, they made it sound like if I stand here and say, give me money, it'll fall out of the sky. It's never worked for me. You got to take a step. Because they have this phrase. I'll break down another phrase. I think it's a bullshit phrase, even though it was written probably a billion years ago. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first what? No, bullshit. What if the first step was off this fucking ledge? No, it's not the first step. It starts with planning the first step. Plan the first step. Do you see how important that is? If I just step, what if I'm stepping in the wrong direction? You must plan your first step. That's what these models are helping you do right here. Painted vision sets us on our journey. The next thing is my whole company, my whole culture has to have shared thinking. Shared thinking. That means the thinking is everybody in my company believes on the painted vision. Did you guys ever decide you're going to go somewhere, not align your team, and you feel like you're rowing the boat all alone? Raise your hand if that's ever happened. How's that feel? Pretty tiring, isn't it? Me too. You got to share the thinking and make sure you get alignment. Just so you know, for your employees, and you might want to write this down for sure, what people build, they own. What people build, they own. That's how important it is to get commitment from everybody in your culture. The next thing is this. You must build the blueprint. You must build the blueprint. You got to draw it. You got to get on paper. Now, I know you guys are probably good at blueprints, line diagrams, mind mapping. I don't know if you are or not, but you should be. I must have the ecosystem of what the steps look like going forward. The next thing after that, we talked about it. You must have execution. Now, I'm probably solving a lot of things for you guys. Execution. A lot of steps here, people fall short. I start executing on a bad plan or no plan. I start executing with no painted vision. We don't know with clarity what it looks like. This will cause epic failure for this right here. And then the next thing is a lot of you, well, I don't know, maybe some of you, but in my world with service companies, you got to have a dashboard. I've seen some of the coolest ass dashboards out at this show. I learned a ton walking, and I'm not even in this industry. If I'm going to move forward on a journey, I better know how I'm tracking. I better have a dashboard that tells me, am I winning or am I losing? And I have to make course correction on that all the time. The next thing is we must take it to completion. We must take it to completion. We have to finish it. And here's where I don't know about, I'll talk to the guys for a minute. The last part, celebration. Who is really good at building stuff but not at celebrating their wins? Anybody or just me? I'm not good at celebrating my wins. But it's proven that the more you celebrate, the more you move forward. The more you move forward. And back here on the final step, and you notice the zigzag, we get clear as we go forward, mastery. When we get mastery on the way in, everybody, when we get mastery on the way in, oh man, it's so easy to make these process. Now, before we go to break in a couple minutes, I want to do a quick summary. We have mindset. Mindset. Are you clear how to get a better mindset? Yes? Boom, thank you. Because it's all about mind growth. Okay, after that, we got to have skill sets. Do you know how to help your people and yourself get better skill sets? Okay, awesome. Next, we must take massive action. Do you know how to take action? Okay. We have to have ultimate clarity with the clarity model. We have to be clear. Do you know how to get clarity? Do we know how to get clarity? Okay, thank you. And then the next part is we have to have ultimate alignment. Do we know how to get alignment? Okay. Now, here's the deal. We're going to give you a 20-minute break. All right. Can you handle with us going into the accountability model? What the hell happened to you on break? Come on, no sleep. Look, success don't sleep. You want to make millions and millions of dollars. Are you ready for the accountability model? Oh, that's what I need. Okay, awesome. Let's do it. Open up to the page. Let's get started. So first here on the top left, we got to know right here, there's no. On the bottom left, there's people in our organization that, guess what? They probably just don't know much. Does anybody have one of those employees, like whenever you ask them something, they get that weird look on their face, like what is that expression? Like, I'm like this. Could you real quick before we move forward explain what you're doing? Did you just take on something in your face? Because I can't figure out this shit. Like, they're all like get weirded out and stuff. In the middle is knowledge. It is knowledge. Now, on the bottom, we have a fair amount of employees and people in accountability. It's avoidance. Avoidance. They just avoid things. But then, just like that song, we have a whole lot of people, they're all in. Who's an all-in person? Raise your hand. All in. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Someone's like, I got this program. You're like, fucking all in. Watch me, right? You just step forward. You're like, here I am. I love that all in. And then in the middle between those two, there's a sense of ownership. A sense of ownership. Okay? Now, I want to break this model down for you. When you have somebody who does not know and they avoid things, that is what we call someone that's distorted. Do you guys know anybody that's distorted? Do you have a sister-in-law that's distorted or just me? Okay, I thought so. I'm so glad, that I'm, that was a double barrel. Wait a minute, I didn't know that was allowed in here. All right, that's cool. All right, but then you have people that know what to do, but then they avoid doing it. You know what that's called up in the top yellow? It's called irresponsible. Irresponsible. Like, I believe anybody who doesn't go they know that there's another level of success, but they avoid the next level success, I believe that's irresponsible. You have the responsibility not only to your family, your community, your church, everybody, to grow. If you look at really what holds, let's just talk about America together, it is business. I mean, it's you guys. It's people that go out there. I mean, who has employees? Raise your hand. I mean, you don't just have employees. You're responsible for the employee's family, the people that are building the products that you're buying. I mean, it's a fair amount of responsibility. So if you could just say to yourself, like, I'm not going to be irresponsible. I'm going to go to the next level and I'm going to grow things. Then what we have is this. We have people that are all in, right? But sometimes they don't know, but they're engaged. There's a sense of people that are engaged. And you want engaged people, for sure, but there's always something about engagement. Engagement is sometimes they're all in and sometimes they're not. Do you have any of those employees that one day they're super dialed in and then the second day they come in and you're pretty sure they must have drank too much last night? Has that ever happened to you? Yeah, you're like, what happened to you last night? Like that's are you a superhero? You're tired because you were fighting villains through the night or something? It's probably because, they're engaged, but here's where we want everybody to be. People that know what to do, they're all in. This is where you want them to get, everybody. Invested. Invested. Now, invested is what we have. It's the greatest level that you could have an employee in your culture is a culture of, do you know what the word is? It starts with O. Anybody? It's a culture of ownership. Isn't that true? It's a culture of ownership. See, one of the things that I teach the companies that I work with is there's a couple factors that have to get in place. And a lot of you might have it, but I'll share it because maybe one of you don't. I mean, you must have, to have ownership, you got to have core values. Is that correct? You need core values in your company. Everybody better know what they are. I remember my first run at building core values about maybe 7 years ago or so, and I thought I'll follow the Zappos thing. I'll put 10 of them in. Any of you have 10 core values you can't even remember what the hell they are? I couldn't even remember what they are, right? And so then we dialed them down to 5. And then even that was a lot, we dialed it down to 4. I'll just tell you to 4 because I believe, one, to have an accountable culture and an ownership culture, you have to have these core values, right? So we had safety first. I don't know if that's a big one in your industry, but safety first was critical in plumbers, HVAC, electricians. Then the next thing was wow through service. Because I don't know about you, do you think that the quality of service today that's delivered by AT&T, the cable company, do you think that's amazing or what? That's not even a boom, right? That's like a malfunction, like a dud. I mean, it's horrible today. So we had delivering wow through service, which was amazing. Then we had the next one, which was highest level of integrity. Now, is integrity important in a business? Yeah, integrity. We always said doing the right thing when nobody's watching. And that was our number 3 core value. And I'm sharing these with you because maybe they're helpful as a model or at least to trigger some thought for you to move forward. And then the last one, which was really my favorite one, it was all for one and one for all. Now, who's that from? Three Musketeers. And that one was make it a great place to work. A great place to work. All for one and one for all. Because I don't know about you guys, but anybody, when you start going from 20 employees to 40 employees to 100 employees to 200 employees, a lot of this stuff starts to malfunction. Anybody got over 20 employees? Raise your hand. Over 20? Okay, so you guys get this, right? Some of you are like, I'm just trying to figure it out myself. Now, the good thing is, if you're just a solo person, a one person, did you ever tell anybody, someone asked you were, and I don't know, if maybe you guys don't say that, so educate me, help me learn. Do you ever say, I'm just a small IT firm? Does anybody ever say that? Do you share that? I would imagine some of you do. And I always say, never say that shit, because small words create small-minded and small results. Is that true? Never, ever say. You could say, I'm a progressively growing. I mean, I used to invite people. If I could paint a picture for you, I had my partner and I many years ago, well, the shed, we ran out of a 2-car garage. There was no bathroom. So, you could imagine what you had to do, but you didn't do it inside, right? And it was about that big. And I used to tour employees. Does anybody need more employees in their company? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of you, right? So I would tour employees, and as soon as they got out of their vehicle, I would say, welcome to our facility. The fucking 2-car garage, right? And I walk them over, let me show you our tool crib. That was a shelf with a drill on it. But he didn't know, because what I seen was this big thing, right? And I would say, well, over here is our office. Now, I don't know about some of you, but our office back then, did any of you ever have, my dad had it, and I took it from him. It was a all-metal desk. Did you ever have one of these? Yeah, right? How heavy was that thing? I mean, that was like, you could protect yourself from like a bullet on that thing. You can't flip it over because you'll have a hernia, right? And I'd be like, here's our office. But the whole point was, someone said to me, every time you say small, you stay small. Does that make sense? Give me a boom. Nice job, yeah. So I want you to change the way that you're thinking about that. Now, once we have this ownership and invested, I know a lot of business owners because doing this now, I've been teaching people for over 8 years, coaching them. I come across people a lot of times that, and I don't know about you, their business, the owner has 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You know anybody like that? Here's how it normally says. Oh man, here's one of my pet peeves. I don't know, is this anybody else's pet peeve? You say, how you doing? Living the dream. I'm like, I feel like fucking throat chopping you right now. Like, is that true? Are you really living the dream? Or are you so sarcastically miserable in your life? You know, they're like, living the dream. I'm like, elbow. Who watches UFC? Anybody watch it the other night? It was pretty good, some of them, pretty good. So you don't want to say that. You can't, and I heard someone else say, you can't have accountability is having both feet in. Both feet in. Until you make a decision that you're going to exit and both feet come out. Does that make sense? Oh, malfunction. You know what that means? I have a lot of people with 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Okay? Let's try to get both feet in. Does that make sense? Okay, good. We have both feet in. Now, over in the top right here, once we get this invested ownership, then what we have is ultimate accountability. We have ultimate accountability, okay? And once we have that, then we can go, what's this word going to be in the top? We always, proud fucking dad moment right now, just so you know. So proud, so proud. Mastery. Because the reason you know it is because for a lot of you, it hit you rock solid. You're like, yeah, if I could live my life striving for mastery, well then everything would change. So do you understand how to use the accountability model? Do you have anybody in your company that's in the distorted section? What do you got to do with them? You got to, look, I always say you got to either move them forward or move them out, but you can't let them sit still. Now, if they're in the room with you, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't mean to put you in that weird position because I thought I seen it in the back of the room. One of you are with your people and you went like this. Boom. That's very inappropriate in here, okay? But I guess better to figure out now than never, right? Okay, cool. All right, so now you have the model to use that. Now, let's go, once we know this, and just so you know, we went through mindset, skill set, action set. We went through clarity, alignment, accountability. I'm going to show you how this becomes a crystal ball. Let's go to training. Would you like to know how to train people better? Okay, cool. Let's do it. First off, we got to take people in training. A lot of people, their first, cluelessness. They have cluelessness. Now, in order to train somebody, tell me if this is correct. Do they need to have a sense of openness? Do they? Yes? Of course they do. Yeah, of course. They have to be open to new training. If they're not open, they're shut, right? It's just like that whole philosophy. I'll give you one that I replaced many years ago. I used to, subscribe to this closing the sale shit, right? And I believe with a lot of these people that teach you, they say, why would you ever want to close the sale? Like that sounds like it's ended forever, isn't it? I mean, you close doors. I would say what we always did was we never sold anybody. We served everybody. You might want to write that down. In my culture, you don't even say the word selling. You say the word serving. Because when you serve somebody at the highest level, the whole interaction and everything you do changes with them. Now, once we have a sense of openness, then what we can do is we have to get to the point where there's a sense of awareness, okay? We got to get to a sense of awareness, okay? All right, I'm open to this, and I'm very aware that something needs to change. Now, once I have a sense of awareness, now I got their attention. Now, I promise you, a lot of you in this room, I would bet, try to teach things, and people are either clueless or they're not open to it. You shove them in a room. Today, we're having a meeting on this. Now, I believe meetings are only happen for one thing, to make a decision. Do you agree? Some of you don't, because your meetings have been social gatherings, right? And nobody growing a business has time for just social gatherings. Meetings are to make a decision. And a lot of people, they go to meetings and they're, the people, I watch them because sometimes I end up in a company doing an on-site or something, and I look and I'm like, your people look like they're slaves there. They don't want to be there. We get their attention, then guess what? Now we can start to practice. We could practice some skills. Now, I am an amazing person, and first off, people only purchase one thing, value. That's it. That's all people purchase. Think about that a minute. The only thing you're doing is serving people with value and allowing them to buy. Now, I became really good by this art of practicing. Now, I don't know if you ever did it because I don't know how many of you bang on doors or stuff, but in my industry, the guys go to a lot of doors and bang on doors. And so for myself, I thought, well, if I'm going to teach my people how to bang on doors, well, I better do it myself. So I'll tell you how serious I was to practice it. Go back 11 years ago, I would knock on the door. My wife would answer the door. She was the customer. This was living hell. She tortured the shit out of me, right? She's like, I would never do that. And then I'm like, I went to shake her hand, and she's like, why would I shake the electrician's hand? Don't shake my hand. And she taught me a whole bunch of stuff. The point is, if you don't have practice, and most of you, you're so, like, if you're going to pitch somebody $8,000 a month, shouldn't you run the play before you do that? I mean, who watches football in here? Okay, a couple of booms, but a lot. Like, I don't watch any football, so to talk to me about it, I know nothing about it. I watch martial arts stuff. But the fact is, can you imagine the coach saying, all right, we ran a whole bunch of stuff every now and then, go do your best? No, that's not going to work. Like, you guys are going to close big deals. Shouldn't you call, like if I had an accountability group, and I do, I have a bunch, 7 coaches. If I was in an accountability group, I said, hey, I need one of you for 20 minutes. I'm going to pitch you what I'm going to do. Ready? You're this, this, this. Let's do it. Hey, how you doing? And I would run the play. Does this make sense? Some of you, you're not practicing to get that opportunity, and then in the end, you're like, oh, I missed this, and have them throw objection against objection. This is why actors become the best in the world. You know, because they run the play, okay? The next thing there is with enough practice, you will get confidence. You'll get confidence. You see, when you move forward and you have such a high level of confidence, I don't even understand the word no. I don't. I only understand not now. That's it. You should change all your no's into not now or not yet. It's never, see, when someone says, no, a lot of you take it as defeat. Oh, I guess that, oh man, deflate. No. I just say, okay, so when you say, not now, so does that mean in 6 days, 20 days? Like, a lot of you guys, do you know the term clear future? Let me just tell you if you don't know clear future. Clear future is anytime you give anybody a proposal, estimate, consultation, whatever you close it. I don't believe in estimates, and just so you know, and I don't believe in proposals. I believe in consultations. And when you give it to them, if someone says they want to think about, like, clear future is cool. Can we set a time for Tuesday? Would 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock work? That's a clear future. Now, let me give you the best. I'm going to give you 2 phrases, which I think you should write down if you never use it, because they made me millions of dollars. And I'm still in the sales game because I sign up myself, business owners into our coaching program. And our high-level coaching program's just about $142,000 for 24 months, and our low one's $85,000 for 24 months. And one thing I make clear to everybody, and it's true, and you should write this phrase down, is I'm not here to sell you anything. It's the number one reason why people do business with me, because I don't have to sell them anything. I will deliver to you massive value, and if the value makes sense for you and your company and your family, you'll choose to make a decision. You should think of that right now, how that plays out for you. The second thing is, I give people an out. When I give them a clear future, first off, have any of you ever felt like a professional chaser of an estimate, like you just hunting the guy and they don't pick up? Oh, just like 3 of us. The rest of you are masters. I'd love to bring you right up on stage if we had time right now, right? Yeah, I know what you do. You call them. Hey, Bob, yeah, I'm just following up with you, and you get the machine. Is that true? I can imagine. I sold commercial jobs. I did $1 million industrial plant. I've did TGI Fridays, Big and Tall's, Sleepy stores. The thing that I always say is at the time of the clear future, and I'm going to give you this nugget now, is this. Look, if for some reason I go to call you, could you do me a favor? You don't have to avoid me at all. If you make a different decision, even though I know most people go with us, but if you decide different, would you just get on the phone and let me know? And you don't have to feel weird at all about it. You don't. You could just get on and say, Mike, I made a different decision. Would you want that to happen? Is that the respectful thing to do? Yeah, and it gives you the opportunity to say what to them? Hey, well, that's great. You went with someone else. Could you at least educate me on the future, what I could do better? When you get a no or a not now or not yet, you can convert about 30% of those over if you do a really good job there of not letting them feel, because most of you are really nice people. Do nice people want to tell other nice people no? Of course they don't. They feel bad. They're nice people. They rather avoid it. Now, if they were your kids, you don't have a problem with it, do you? You're just like, no. But when you never want to hurt someone's fault. All right, and then once you have ultimate confidence, then you have this whole new awakening. Awakening is, I'm hoping, my goal for you, and I use hope because I can't guarantee it, even though I hate the word hope, tries, or maybes, because I think they're horrible words of just waiting and not accomplishing things. But I do hope for you that we're creating new levels of awakenings and understandings of thinkings through a model so you can apply this in your business. Once the awakening's done, tell me what the top one is. It is? Mastery. Come on, you can't say mastery like that. That's horrible. Can we do it again? Like, say it like you're going to get up and like act like the ultimate samurai. What's the final word is what? Mastery. Mastery. If you can't say, see, that's a confident thing. Confidence is I have to pull myself out of my introverted self to get the outcome that I need. I need to pull. So my company, 200 employees in a meeting. I'm shooting money at them. You know, they got chairs in the air, thunderstruck's playing, we're rocking it out. Then we get stuff done. See, all of you used to rock probably when you were 18 years old. You just forgot how to rock it out some. So we get on mastery, and now we've completed the training module. Now, would it be cool if we learned, okay, how many of you train your employees? Raise your hand. A lot of you, it's never a problem. How many of you coach your employees really well? Okay, 5%. That's why I want to teach this to you. Because training doesn't just get the job done. Training gives them how to do the skill set. Coaching motivates them on the skill set. See, I could train you how to turn the bottle cap, right? I could turn it like this, drop the bottle cap. But coaching motivates you on how to be excited while you turn the bottle cap. A lot of people, and this is what I figured out. I was doing tons of training, but we were doing no coaching. So let me give you the coaching model, okay? This gives the drive and the fuel. The first part up here, the people being coachable is important. Tell me if that's important. Is that important? You got to be coachable. Yeah, you got to be coachable, because if you're not coachable, well, then we probably got to go back to a different model. We got to go back to maybe, if they're not coachable, what model do we have to go back to? It's our first model we talked about. The what model? Mind what? The mindset model. If you're not coachable, you got a mindset block. In a little bit before we're done, we're going to do a mindset exercise. You play full out. It's going to change your life forever. I guarantee it. All right, but they got to be coachable. Now, to be coachable, as we move up coaching people, one, we can't judge. Don't judge. This is so important. Judging happens with us saying things or not saying things, right? And when you're watching somebody and teaching them, you're like, did you ever do that? Like that, does that say good job coaching you? No, it says like, you're horrible, right? That's a judgment, you're horrible, instead of learning, okay? Creativity or curiosity. So one, we don't want to judge. Number two, we want to understand. Let's understand exactly where people are. Where are you right now? Let's understand that. You know, I need a baseline. The next thing is we have to get ultimate clarity. Ultimate clarity. Okay? Once we have ultimate clarity, and this is why I'm working so hard with you guys, because I understand something you don't know, and I could tell that, and I'm going to work my ass off till I'm done to get you there, and it's going to make sense in a minute. Create energy. Success comes from power and energy. Power and energy. The more energy you have, and I don't want to say I'm blessed, because I've created everything I wanted. I've created it by hard work. But you know what's put me around, when you see guys like Kevin O'Leary, Jay Abraham, if you know him, he's my one-on-one coach right now. These guys, they have a sense of energy. Tony Robbins, these type of people. And people with more energy normally have more wealth. Very rarely do you see super energetic people that are broke off their ass. Isn't that true? I mean, just look at it. So that's why I'm working so hard to make sure you understand the models, but I keep driving you for more energy, because if you bring that home to your company, your people, now I get it. You guys, how many of you, if you have employees, they're scared when you come back? Raise your hand. They're scared when you, yeah. And does it, in my events, when I do them, they're 4-day events, I always tell everybody, by the time you get back, somebody quit. Has anybody quit you since you've been here or no? No? In our industry, it's like second day, someone quit. They don't know why. I get it, because they feel a sense of energy coming back to the company. They feel it already coming back. So we want to create energy. The last word here, we want to stay engaged. We want to stay engaged. When you're coaching people, you cannot coach them once and think you're done. I used to do that. I give the old pep talk and I figure, man, I wound up that rabbit. The Energizer rabbit seems to go forever. Like, why do I have to keep saying great shit to you, right? But the fact is, you must keep creating that coaching momentum for people. And everybody gets coached differently. Just so you know, in my company, when we hire everybody, we would say to them this: how do you want us to compliment you? When you do good things, what do you want us to say? And when you do things that frustrate us, what do you want us to do? And so I have a girl, Dina, started with me not too long ago. I said, when good things happen, what do you want me to do? She says, just blurt it out. When bad things happen, what do you want me to do? She said, tell me straight. I said, straight in front of anybody? She goes, pull me aside and tell me the problem. Clear. The last part, and I don't know how many of you do this, but you should. What's your why for working for me? What is your why for working for me? It's never money. Money alone does nothing. It's what the money buys, right? Now, how many of you in here, every single employee, you know their why they work for you? Like, you know their goal is to get a house, get a car, vacation. How many of you know the employee's why? Look, next to nobody. Is this important? Okay, if there's a time to give a boom, it's now. Is this important? Yeah, you have to know your employee's why. How do you ever, all I used to do, I'll use Mike Jackson, for example. He's a great employee of mine for 9 years, and then I sold the company. And I used to tell him, he says, I have to put in 9 years 2 kids through college. All I had to do was, when he was not performing at the level I wanted, I just said this: pay attention. Are we on track for college or off track? That's all I need to know. Are we on track for college or off track? And he would say, we're off track. And I said, now that you said that, what do we got to do? He says, I'm going to do it. He self-coached himself. That's all I had to say. You have to know the why for everybody. Some of you don't even know your why, right? You don't know what you want from life a year, 5 years from now. Or you're afraid to say it because you don't know the dreams. You don't believe you can have it. Identify your why. Identify everybody else's why. The game will change in the company. Then what happens is we have up here an elevating momentum. Elevating momentum. Elevating momentum. And after that, watch how good you guys are. The last one we have is? Mastery. Okay, some of you were still writing. I'll do it one more time. The last one we have is? Mastery. Mastery. Perfect. Here is your coaching model to apply in your business. Now, when you do this, what this does is, check this out. We coach people up. We coach people up. And down the bottom right, we create momentum. We create momentum. We coach people up, and when we create momentum, guess what we have? Forward. What did you say? It sounded like fuck something, but I don't know. I missed it all, and I hate missing that kind of language, but I'm sure it was great. So we coach them up, and we coach them forward, and that's what you want to do. But so many people are culture, all this stuff. But I never hear them say, you got to coach your culture up and you got to coach them forward. I always told my culture this. One, you might want to adapt this in your mind. I told my culture, here's the deal. I will fight for your livelihood every single day. That's what I'll do. You don't even have to kick down the door. I'll kick it in. I just need to make sure when I kick down the door, when I turn around, I'm not all alone. Is that fair? And that's what my culture lived with. So if I gave you an example, and that's because I coached them up and coached them forward. If I had my 200 employees here on this stage, you come to attack me, they kill you. I'm just telling you, they'll jump right on your face, bite your neck, like zombies, like Walking Dead. Why? Because I've earned their respect. Did they love me? No, they respected me. Because if you coach, my guy who's running the company now, that now a year and a half later, they're going to do $45 million, he started with me as a helper. Now he's a director and he's running over 45 million. You don't do that over a 10-year, 12-year period of time unless you're coaching up and coaching forward. Make sense? You have to do that on a regular basis all the time. Look, this stuff that I'm teaching you right here, just so you know, it's not difficult. It's different. Write it down. It's not difficult, it's different. It's the same thing that you want to share with your employees. What I'm sharing with you is not difficult. It's a different way to look at things. Now, it just happens that my lenses that I put on, I'm looking through $200 million lenses. I'm also looking through, in my industry, CEO Warrior, in less than 5 years, we're the top training and coaching organization in the world in my niche and my industry. Why? Just so you know, I apply this right to our own business. Now, we still have another one that we have to finish here, which is managing, which is going to be real important. But let me ask you a question. Every talk you do, so I heard people say, and it was great, they go, and I'm sure you guys, if you aren't, you're doing webinars, lunch and learns, teaching, all that stuff. It's all magnificent. If you take every one of them, and let me ask you, so far in this room, have I been working with you, and you'll give me a boom after every one? Only if it's true. If not, don't say it. Have I been working on your mindset? Your skill set? Your action? Okay. Have I been helping you with clarity? Alignment? Have I been building sense with a sense of accountability? Yeah. And during this time, have I been training you? Coaching you? And then I'm going to finish the last part. When I'm done with this model, you're going to take this model, and if you plug this into every single thing you do, every meeting, into your culture, and I'm going to show you in a second how it's the crystal ball. It's already crystal ball without the last part, which is managing. I'll share this. Let's do managing, and I'll show you how to apply this to any employee in the company. All right. So first off, in the center, we have a holding line. We have a holding line. In the top, you probably heard models like this. This is above the line. Bottom is below the line. Okay? Now, do I have managers in the room? Any managers? Okay. They don't even know if they should say it, right? Okay. I'll accept the boom. Now, managers, a lot of people get mad at managers because they're not getting greater results. But that's kind of unfair because management, by the term definition, is maintain. I'm going to show you how managers no longer maintain but get more results. So if we put in this here, managing, right in the center there, managing, and if this line across the middle here, this is the current maximum capability zone. It's the current maximum capability zone. In the bottom part, we have deficiency. This is deficiency right here. Okay, that's low. That's when a manager, our job is we want to push the current maximum capability zone. Now, this here, if we're holding the performance line, we have specification. We have communication, and we have regulation. All key pieces that fall below this line. Now, how do we go to up here, improving? Improving. We want to improve things. Well, there's a way to lift. Managers should be doing this to lift the maximum capability zone is this. To lift the MC zone there is first you got to optimize things. Optimize. Optimize your processes. Optimize your sales system. Optimize your customer service. Optimize your sales division. Everything, optimize. Once you optimize, you want to get a sense of automation. And you guys are in a world of automation. I don't think that's a problem for a lot of you. I do think that a lot of you get stuck in the optimization. You don't optimize for the next level. And then the last part is outsourcing, which I think you guys are probably pretty good at outsourcing different things, I would imagine, because there's vendors out there that are blowing my mind on outsourcing. Now, if the end, what we're going to do is we'll get to the top, of course, which is always mastery. What I want you to take away from this part of managing is that in order to manage, we must move the maximum capability zone forward. And the only way you guys can do that, or I should say the most efficient way to do it, is by optimize, automate, and outsource. That is, as an owner or as a wealth builder, this is what you're doing on a regular basis. Every single day in my company, I would walk through and take a look and observe. And so I haven't had an office in 5 years. Because I believe any of you that have an office and company, why would you ever sit in a square desk, in a square seat, in a square room? Can you see anything that's going on in that room? Very rarely. Now, maybe if there's dashboards on a computer, but you can't see what your team's doing to improve things. The only way you could do that is get out there and watch. It's the only way that you could really optimize things. Just so you know, management without training and coaching will never move you forward. It won't. It will maintain the results. And a lot of times it doesn't matter what industry I go to talk to, and I've talked at Samsung a couple months ago, all different places. It's always the same thing. When I see people struggling with results, they're managing. They're never training, they're never coaching, and they're stuck somewhere in their mindset, skill set, or action. So let's put a ribbon around this whole thing. Let's see how the crystal ball is. So if I asked you, I want you to feel double your growth and your profitability, double. Okay, get that in your mind right now. Like you could taste this. Tell me what has to happen for you to double in growth. Now wait, I'll go through it. Do you need a stronger, do you have to put the mindset model in? But now we're not gonna do boom. I wanna raise the hand because I gotta see here. Those of you to double your growth this year, who needs to change their mindset? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. Who needs greater skills? How to do it? Raise your hand. Okay. Who just needs massive leverage to take action? Raise your hand. Okay. All right. Who needs to get greater sense of clarity on their business? Raise their hand. Okay. Who needs to get greater alignment with your company, your family? Raise your hand. Okay. Who needs damn accountability? Raise your hand. Accountability. Okay, a bunch of you. All right. Who needs training? Raise your hand. Okay, you got to know how to do it. I mean, Robin is a master marketer, and I don't say that to blow smoke, and I don't have to. This is where I am gifted. I mean, there's guys like Nick Natten who talked, my friend Sean Buck, Robin. I mean, you're talking about being surrounded in the room and people that I see, you know, Dave D, some of the smartest marketers in the damn world. But if you need that training, you're here. But you got to have training on everything. You need operational, you need sales training, you need systems. How many of you read the book, The E-Myth? Yeah, amazing, right? How many of you actually did something with the book? Less hands, right? Like it's the most read book on processes that nobody's ever did anything with, right? It's so fucking confusing. In the end, it's like, is your company like a McDonald's method? No, we don't shake the fries 3 times, do we? Nobody prepares you for that. It's so weird for that. So I want you to think, when you look at this nine pillars now, you could say to yourself, let's think about an employee right now. Get any employee, if not pick a vendor in your mind. Pick somebody in your mind, doesn't matter. What is keeping them from the next level? And just raise your hand. Is it mindset? Skill set? Action? Okay, does that employee have a clarity problem? Alignment? Accountability? Do they need to be trained? Coached? Managed? Okay. Now your fucking hands cannot be tired. You've only raised them 20 times. Right? You can't be tired here. I don't know what you did last night, but you can't be that tired. You got to go into the night with energy. All right. So this is the 9-pillar system. What I would like to do now, but I have to set the stage for you. I got to take a drink of water before I even explain it because I have to think if you're actually ready for it. Okay, this Callaway Blue said you're ready for it, all right? I don't know what the hell's in it, but for some reason, Dave D was trying to talk about getting me drunk or something, and I don't drink alcohol, so that ain't gonna be a good formula. Here's the deal. In order for us to go into this last part of the exercise, I would need you to be willing to, just willing to give it your very best shot. Did you guys ever watch that football video? Where the coach puts the kid on the other person's back. Anybody see this video? Yeah, it's a great video, right? And then the guy's blindfolded and he's on his hands and knees and he walks and the coach is going, give your very best, keep going, keep it. And the guy goes the whole length of the football field. So I'm gonna ask you to give yourself a treat. Now, what tables are accountability groups here? Raise your hand if you're part of an accountability group. Okay, almost all of you, right? So what I would say, now, just so I know, does each accountability group have a leader? Yes? Okay. So what this exercise will do is the way the leader does anything is the way the leader does everything. Okay? Weak-ass leader, this exercise is going to be weak for your table, and then you might say to yourself if you like them or hate them later, okay? But I know that the leader's going to lead. So here's what I want to do for 1 second. Leaders of tables, and if there's not a leader at a table, someone pick leadership role. Stand up real quick, leader. Stand up. Don't be afraid. Stand the hell up. Leaders never need to be asked twice to stand. I mean, if I said I had $1 million for you, your ass would be charging at me, right? Okay. Now, stay standing a minute so I can see what powerful leaders look like. Now, if there's a table with no one standing, everybody at the table just point at someone and tell them to stand. Go ahead. All right, get your ass up. Leaders don't wait for an invitation. Leaders don't wait for an invitation, everybody. So every table should have somebody standing, or that's just going to be a bad table. Okay, now leaders, here's what I want you to do. You only got 1 second. I want you to have a 1 second conversation with your table and tell them your best motivation on how they should, whatever Mike goes through, you just give it your very best. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Tell them. Tell them loud like a leader. All right, I like what I see. Leaders, sit down. Leaders, sit down. All right, we're ready now? Okay, I'm glad we're ready. Now, I'm going to run you through a process. And first, just so you guys know, I talked to you about mindset and mind growth. And if you look at this model here, okay, in order for us to get mindset and mind growth, we need to unlock a key. We need to unlock a door. Now, I want to give you a little fair warning. One, can we all agree in this room, no judgments? Can we agree? Give me a boom. Boom. No judgments. That means if anybody gets sensitive, their eyes tear, they need a tissue, we just say, we leave them alone. We don't need to hug them. We just leave them to themselves and let them be, but we won't judge them. Is that fair? Because what happens is this process, if you go through it, it's going to unlock a door, and sometimes deep down, it's kind of that creepy movie, Underneath the Steps, right? Is this hidden shit that's been holding you back for most of your life. Same thing for me when I was 15 years old. You know, I had a lot of baggage holding me back. You know, I've been to therapy, I've been to everything, right? I never had to take medication, but I've done, you know, plenty of therapy, and I want to teach you something, and it's only my belief. Remember, you got to do your own due diligence, and in a minute, we're going to take a piece of paper out, and we're going to shut our books, but here's the conscious mind, right? Here's the conscious mind up here. Let's see if we go red here. Conscious mind. And this is you listening to me, exploring what we're doing, willing to step into a better place, willing to step forward, okay? This whole backside is going to be our subconscious. This is going to be our subconscious. Now, don't go to a place you don't want to go, okay? But I would just challenge you, just go as far as you can. Go as far as you can. Because, you know, when I used to go to therapy, you know, they used to make me I don't know about you guys, and I don't need to know. They used to ask me the same damn shit over and over and make me feel, and you don't have to say it's you, but maybe you heard of someone else. They made me feel the same as, tell me again when you were 15 years old. How did you feel? Was it scary? I was like, fucking yeah, it was scary. I hated it. And it's like when they do that, what they actually do, just so you know, do they help it release or do they anchor it in? What do you think? They anchor it. They pull it in. And before you know it, and some of you might know this information, and I would say if you've been through stuff like this, then you should be a pro. Go deeper. What they do is they create this story for you, your identity. Well, I guess I'm fat. I'll never be able to do that. I guess I'm thin. I guess I'm old. You know, my wife and I, we told my mom the other day, we reminded her, she's 70-something years old. I said, Mom, you're level 70. Think about that. I said, you're a level 70. That's amazing. You see, if you use the word level, that's a good thing. You don't want to be a level 10. Level 10, you still piss yourself every now and then. Now, maybe at level 90 you do too. I don't know. I'm not there. We'll try to avoid that stuff, right? So levels. So this here, what I want to challenge is I want to run you through, as a team, this process. Now, here's what we're going to do. You have a page in there. It's a blank page. It says limiting beliefs. Pull the page out and shut your book. Pull the page out and shut your book. You won't need anything. Turn your phone over right now. I would say give yourself the gift of the next 20 minutes of your whole life. Next 20 minutes here. That's all we're going to ask for you to go next level in your life. So you have a blank sheet of paper, and it says limiting beliefs. Now I want to explain what limiting beliefs are. Now first, we're going to write stuff on the paper, and I promise you don't have to share it with anybody, and don't look at anybody. Does anybody want anybody else's problems in this room? No. My business partner told me we're business partners for 28 years. He said, you know what? Everybody throws their problems in the middle of the room. You find out you actually want to grab your own problem back. Did you ever hear that? That's true. So what I'd like to do is when we start writing this, don't worry about what everybody else is writing. It's a private thing, but it is a table community thing because we want to drive each other to play full out. Now, in a minute, you're going to stop looking at me. I'm going to have a team in the back. Just dial down the lights just a little bit for me. This way you guys could be comfortable. And I want you to have pen and paper. But have that sheet of paper out of your book. Now, some of you don't want to rip the paper out of your book. Get a blank piece of paper. It's cool. You're not destroying your book because you pull it out. And what I want you to do is I want you to start thinking of anything that's ever held you back. Anything. And you can listen to me, but don't look at me. Write on the paper. So maybe you're thinking small. Anything you want to get rid of. Like, I'm never going to think small again. Maybe you got slapped as a kid. Maybe you regret that your father, like you have anger because he never said he was proud. Now, if you're looking at me and not writing something, that's not going to be good. It's not going to help you. Just think of anything. Like maybe you're writing down things like, I'm too fat, or I'm too thin, or I don't know if I could grow a company. Maybe that's a limiting belief. I don't know if I could have a $5 million business, or I'm not as smart as them. Write it down. You have permission right now for yourself to go as far in your subconscious mind that you choose and write it on paper, knowing that we're not writing it for enjoyment. We're writing it because we're going to get rid of it today. We're just going to completely destroy it. And maybe some of you have some problems from the past. What about you have a friend that hurt you? Get rid of it. I don't know. I've been embezzled $500,000, $500,000. Now, if I live with that, is that going to serve me at all? No. I did a different exercise, but this one's just as powerful. Write it down if you were embezzled or if you were hurt. Some of you have relationships that you're still dragging around the story. Oh, he hurt me so bad. Well, that story's not helping you. That's not helping you move forward. Is that going to build a company that you're carrying? Like when I was telling people about my 15-year-old struggle, was that helping me grow a big business? No, that wasn't helping me. All it was a story of pain. I want to help you remove all the emotion from it, all the struggle from it, so we could throw a brand new mind in there, and then you could be super powerful like you've never been before. But you have to be willing to get it on paper. All of us have things. I mean, I go back to my childhood, and you just listen to me and keep writing. I remember a girl one time. I was probably about 12 years old, and this girl, for some reason, thought it was a great idea in front of all my friends to pour a Slurpee on top, cherry Slurpee on top of my head. And I remember getting so upset and frustrated and embarrassed in front of my friends. Well, that doesn't go away, everybody. It sits in your subconscious mind. The difference between the ultra successful and the ultra struggling is the programming. Now, you guys understand programming better than anybody. I heard yous up here, I went and taught people how to fix their email and their servers and stuff, but you never concentrated on the most powerful server that controls everything in your life. And it is your subconscious mind, not your conscious mind. It's a hard drive. But last I looked, very few of you are using Commodore 64 computers to run your company. But your brain is a Commodore 64. You're running off of these old beliefs, these old struggles, these old fears. If you have anxiety, put it down. If you have fear of spiders, put it down. If you have some kind of pressure, some kind of excuse, And I know it gets deep real quick in here, but it's good. I'm honored to do this with you. I'm going to go through this journey with you right now. The more you get out of your mind, there's no right or wrong thing. Write a paragraph, write a word, don't worry about spelling, circle it, right on the back, right on the front, whatever you have to do, don't worry about it. And play full out the way you want your team and table to play full out. All of us have something that happened in life and time that helped form us. Some of it's great stuff. I don't want to get rid of the great stuff. You see, when we make space and we remove the bad, it allows the good to expand exponentially. It allows it to expand and grow. And that's what I want you to do. If we could get rid of the negative, and we all have some form of negative thing. I remember, I'll take you as far back as my Italian dad throwing my big wheel in the garage. Isn't it amazing that I can remember him tripping over my big wheel and then picking it up and throwing it out of anger because he almost fell? Now that became part of my identity, part of my story. And the more that I was able to go deeper and get rid of the story, and what I found out was I was in control. So I want you to go deeper and deeper, as deep as you can on this thinking. What holds you back? Maybe you're saying, I'm not a marketing guru, I'm not a sales guru, I'm not an expert or something. Write it down. I mean, all of you, if you want a limiting belief, I'll give you the number one limiting belief that every one of you probably should put down. If I ask the room, and I'm not gonna, how old are you gonna live to? I bet most of you already put a time frame on your damn life and existence. Well, 85, 90, maybe 100, 75. My dad died at 60. That's a limiting belief. You have no guarantee. And I don't tell you to adopt it. I mean, I'm gonna live to 140. I've already made that decision. And that's already a limiting belief. I'm working so damn hard to shatter that. Why not? They say if you live 10 more years, life expectancy is gonna go to 20. You can't even become rich till you're 80. You need enough wealth to live maybe into 120, 130. When are you gonna go get it? You might as well go get it now. Get it now. Now I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes to finish writing down. And I would tell you, please, from my heart to yours, don't be one of those people when we're done with the exercise, you're like, oh shit, I should have wrote down. You're not reading it out loud. We're not doing that. You're not sharing it with anybody. It's you and your paper. Okay, you got about 1 more minute left. 1 more minute. So finish writing, write fast. Any garbage you want to get rid of, write it down. Anything in your mind. Oh, I'm getting old. Look at my hair, this, that. Everybody's got this. You know, maybe I'm too old to grow a big business. Maybe I'm too young. I mean, crap, I've been debt-free since I'm 28 years old. I haven't had a mortgage since I'm 28. I'm not telling you to brag. I didn't have a belief of anything else. I just believed it was true. My dad didn't have a mortgage when he was 28, so that was my framework. I figured, well, I'll have a $300,000 house with no mortgage by the age of 28 too. I'm 48 now. I'm still debt-free. I have 2 homes. No debt on anything. Why? My belief system. I have to get rid of the garbage to put the new in. So I want you to do that right now. Okay, you got about 30 seconds left. Play full out. Team leaders, the only thing you need to do is acknowledge your team's playing full out. You don't need to look at their stuff. It's private stuff for everybody. Nobody will see it. Just look at your team and be like, play full out. Just let's do this together and let's go for it. I promise when we're done in 15 minutes, you're going to see how good you feel, and tomorrow will be a whole new fresh day. All right. Now we're going to get ready for the next part. Now the next part, I need you to follow instructions. Turn your chair so you could stand up. But you're not going to see anything, but I need you to make sure you stand up and don't fall in a minute. So just make sure you're clear that you'll be able to stand up, okay? Now, while you're sitting there, let me grab a piece of paper here. I want you to just take that piece of paper and follow with me. And I want you to make sure you're as serious could be right now. Because this, for a lot of you, is going to change the game forever. I promise. Hold me to this. I want you to take the piece of paper, and if you have other stuff when we're going through it, just write on it, but take the piece of paper and put it right on your chest. Now, I know some of you don't want to do this because it's nasty. It's dirty. I get it. It's a whole bunch of garbage. Now, I want you real quick, and follow with me. Take a deep breath in, real big deep breath. Breathe out. Deep breath in, breathe out. Last deep breath in, breathe in, hold it, breathe out, and close your eyes. Close your eyes. Now you're safe. No one's touching you. No one's going through the room. Your eyes are closed. The only people that are in here is you and me, and you're just listening to my voice with that piece of paper on your chest. Now, I want you to get to grips with that piece of paper and make sure your eyes stay closed. You're perfectly safe. And I want you to feel that stuff. Now, it's all horrible. It's nothing good. It's stuff you don't want. You made a conscious decision to write it down because you don't want it no more. Now, of course, if something real super empowering comes to you, like, I must get rid of it, you're not hostage now. Put the paper down, write it on, put it back on your chest if something comes to you. Now, what I want you to do is, see, this is what you've been living with. This is your hard drive, and it hasn't been upgraded for some of you, maybe all of you, in a very, very long time. And I want to help you upgrade it right now. But first, to upgrade it, remember, we have to understand what the consequence is and what this causes us. So I want you now to look out a year from now. If you carry everything on this paper a year from now, you don't change anything, you keep living with the pain, the anxiety, the pressure, the frustration, the fears a year from now, how much will that hold you back? Feel that and feel it fully inside your heart. Feel the weight of that right now, holding you down, pulling you down. But sometimes a year is the snap of a finger today, right? It's quick. Well, what about if everything you wrote on that paper, you took it out 5 years? Now, it could get a little emotional in here, and that's where we're not going to judge, and we'll embrace it fully. Okay, feel any emotions you have to, because we want to serve each other. What about 5 years you're still carrying this? What will happen? Will your children be mad at you? Will you fighting with your wife? 5 years, that's quite a while. If you keep carrying this baggage, garbage, what if you don't grow your company 5 years? Do you have that endurance to keep going? Do you have that level of energy to keep going? Maybe not. 5 years of not letting this garbage, you've probably been carrying it 20, 30 years. But imagine 5 more years stacked on top of that. What if we go out 10 years? Feel that. 10 years. I'll be 58 years old. My kids will be out of the home. Maybe they're married with kids. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe 10 years from now I didn't focus on my health. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe I'm slow. Maybe I'm lonely. Maybe my business falls apart because I don't change, because I carry in this weight and this baggage, and I get it. You're doing amazing. I'm super proud of you. Just keep going. Remember, 100%, 10 years. I want you to feel it fully, because when you can feel this fully, your brain is starting to unlock the subconscious mind, and it's getting ready to make a decision. Do you want to carry this forward for 10 years, or do you want to make a decision to change it? And you don't have to answer yet. I know there's a decision where you want to change it. Now, I want to take you one more step out. Now, this step is about the worst step to go. It's the most impactful, the most emotional step of all. It's the one that could really hit us in the heart. It's where we go out now 20 years. Feel it. Feel it fully if you carry this haunting, imagine if I was carrying, being on my own since 15 for 20 years. Oh my God, the weight, the struggles, the fears, the anger, the aggravation, the anxiety. 20 years. That's a lot. I'd be 68 years old. Carrying all this pain and struggle, compounded. My business never grows because I didn't step up. I decided to keep the stuff weighting me down. My employees leave. My brand is dead. Maybe the industry changes. This is horrible 20 years from now. 20 years is miserable. Now, I'm going to ask you a question in a minute, and I just want you to answer yes or no. And there's a good chance when I answer the question, it's going to be a yes. And I want you all to yell it as loud as you can, because we're unlocking the subconscious mind. And so would you like to get rid of everything that's on that paper? Yes? Okay, now I need level 10 now, because the more you play, the more you'll be able to unlock this and get rid of this forever. Would you like to get rid of the stuff on the paper? Yes? Yes. Feel it completely, fully now. Now I want you to pull your shoulders back, strong in your seat. I want your chest to start to sit up, because in a minute I'm going to have you stand up. But I'm going to have you stand up safely. If you got to open your eyes a minute, I want you to stand up stronger than you ever stood before. But I only want you to stand up if you're ready to completely get rid of this stuff forever. Never live with it again. And you're willing to go play life at a whole nother level. Now, I'll count down, and if you're ready to do that, you'll stand up, but then you'll put your eyes closed. 3, 2, 1. Stand up if you're ready. Stand up. Now stand up as you were ready to lead an army of 10,000 people. How would you stand? Chest up, shoulders back, breathing heavy, eyes are closed. Now I want you inside your mind to make a conscious decision to get rid of this. And in a minute, I'm going to give you an opportunity, and I'm going to share with you what to do, and I'm going to tell you, and we're going to destroy this. Because I know, spending now a couple days with you guys, that you do not deserve to carry this garbage, this junk forward for 20 years. I know it. I could see it in you. The only thing you've been waiting for is an invitation, some of you, to step into your greater self. But you didn't know that you could change the hard drive. So I want you to start feeling in your hands strength. Feel in your mind and your body ultimate power. Feel yourself like you're 18 again and you're running on the field or riding a BMX bike or running track, playing football. Remember what you were like then? Unstoppable. Feel what it would feel like if you became right now like an ultimate warrior. The warrior that can handle any battle, any struggle to move forward. You feel how strong that is? Now I'm going to count down in a minute, and two things are going to happen. When I count down, I'm going to tell you to destroy that paper. You're going to tear it, rip it ferociously, like an animal, like a lion would tear something apart to defend its whole tribe. You're going to pull it, tug it, shove it, and you're going to hold it in your hand. You're going to give me a crazy stare forward. And then there will be a moment where I say, throw it in the air and be free forever. And then at that point, we will clap and celebrate because for most of you, you'll be free from this forever. Embrace it fully right now, what it will feel like to be free from the pains, the struggles, the fears, the frustrations. To get rid of this paper. Nobody wants to live with this, but of course, this is your own will and choice. There's no force. If we're going through this and you want to fold that up, put it in your pocket and bring it home, that's your will. Most of you do not want to carry this anymore. You're done with it. You're done playing small. You're done playing safe. You're ready to move forward. You're ready to take the bull by the horns and grow a business to the next level. If you're ready, I want you to give me the strongest and 1 second boom you ever get. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you really ready? Grab that paper now and start to tear it. Everything you got. Pull it, tear it, hold it, bite it, elbow it, everything you got. Wait for it. I'll tell you when to throw it in the air. Wait for it. Wait for it. Pull it. Come on. Get hungry. 3, 2, 1. Throw it in the air. Throw it. Oh, let me hear it. Come on. High five. Give high five. Yes, nice job. Now, super proud of all of you. Don't sit down. You're ready to grow an empire, and you already have an empire. So many of you guys, but you're ready to go out and show the world really what you're made of now. Now, what I need you to do in a minute is now we made space, most of you. You got rid of a lot of junk. You saw what the junk could do. It's gone now. You destroyed it. It doesn't come back. But I want you to close your eyes real quick now. Go ahead. Close them. I want you now to feel and see life 1 year from now. What does it look like? Feel it fully. A culture that's thriving. Maybe you're one man, now you're 2 or 5. Maybe you doubled in growth. See it clearly. Put color inside your mind. Feel what that feels like 1 year from now. The money in the bank. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Just, yeah, boom. Just sitting there. You see it like you've never seen it before. Go out 5 years now. 5 years. How many accounts do you have? You no longer even talk like an $8,000 per month deal's a big thing. $20,000 is what we want a month. There's no limitations. Feel what it feels like right now, 5 years from now. Your family, your life, your health, unstoppable. You feel what that feels like? Feel it in your body. Feel it in your heart. Put your hands on your heart right now and feel that. 5 years from now. How powerful, how strong. Aging doesn't even happen. Feel it. You get younger every day. You can. It's by choice. It's a mind thing. Feel your heart pumping 5 years from now. Strong. Let's go out 10 years. See yourself, most of us running around maybe with grandchildren. We're not sitting on the couch just banging them on one knee. We're running around, we're playing ball. Company's running without you. The company's growing, thriving, ownership. You have the 9 pillars in place: mindset, skill set, action, clarity, alignment, accountability, training, coaching, and managing. It runs through your company. You do everything applying the 9 pillars. You now make a conscious decision, the last thought I want you to think of. And it's the thought of what it would be like to live as a warrior. A warrior is not a fun thing, it's a lifestyle. It's the person who steps up when everyone else quits. It's the person who never stops. It's the person who grows a company, who moves faster and faster every single day. That's what that person is. That's what a warrior does. Let this go through your mind, what it would feel like if every moment of every day you were warrior strong and warrior unstoppable. No more excuses, only major focus and energy. Open your eyes real quick. Feel what that feels like right now. And what I like you to do before I leave the stage is I like to give you the opportunity for yourself. And before I do it, I'd like to tell you I am completely honored to serve you today. But I want you to give the biggest boom that you've ever given. I'll count down and let this lock in the very new you for your new life so you could go get freedom, wealth, and market domination. 3, 2, 1, boom! Thank you. I'm honored, everybody.
That was awesome, wasn't it? This is just a small sampling of the dozens of breakthroughs and insights you'll get as we work together. If you want to get out of the truck and grow your business with less stress and less suffering, hit the button on the page and let's get started right away. Don't risk missing out. Hit the button below and take the next step. We look forward to serving you.